here, and today we are talking about 10 differences living in Ghana and in the UK. Part 2. 1. We've already spoken about time, weather, food, work, and hospitality. Today we are starting with infrastructure, and you can understand with infrastructure we can't really the difference is very wide, and UK has vast infrastructure, with even what I have seen and observed so far, with their high-rise buildings, making their skyline very nice, with their warehouses, with factories, and things are going on. And that also will make me point out that with their maintenance culture, which is apt and 100%, in comparing it with Ghana, you could understand that Ghana, we don't have any maintenance culture. Our maintenance culture is very, very poor, and for that matter, it doesn't speak well of us at all. I will point that here they have people especially for maintenance, and here you could see even little problems that they solve, that potholes are taken care of, and it's wonderful how they do it. And it's just about creating jobs for the people and all these things. When you create the jobs and people, as they work, you put them at various places, and definitely they will do the needful. And so that's a big difference. You could notice that from Ghana and in UK, we can't really compare at all. So that's a big difference, because here, comparing back at home with our maintenance culture, we have some bridges that have even broken, bridges and even buildings which are really a hazard to the community and even people living around and be living in them. So you can't really compare with infrastructure. I'll move on to family. And the family, of course, we all know where in Ghana we pride the extended family, where our grandparents are there to take care of their children's children. They help the children to grow well and all that. But here, since their individualistic nature, most of them, when you give birth to your children, they are one way or the other also fending for themselves and their family. So they wouldn't make enough time whilst you are in your old age, and they will send you to the care home, which is not something that we know in our part of the world. And I think as development goes on, I before I left, I knew that there are some care homes that are springing up in Ghana, and people are making use of them. Definitely development and are catching up in the West. So, but we here, the individualistic nature makes your family, you have to even book appointment before you see your parents and all that. So it's quite different, and these are some of the things that we need to point out. Yes, very, very important. We need to know. Also, the third thing that I would like to talk about is housing. And we know that they have a housing deficit, but still the way their houses are built, making use of spaces, and it's really. And with housing, in our part of the world where you can build, you can buy your own house, you can buy your own land, I should say, and build, and which is really, it adds up, because you can have your own plan than here, which every plans houses are built with the same plan, and but in our part of the world, you can have variety. Probably you might have an architectural friend who can design something nice for you, and you can benefit from it. So these are some of the differences that we have realized. In Ghana, you can build your own house, but here it becomes difficult for you to build because some laws and things are in place when you want to build. But in our part of the world, it's easy. You can buy your land, even though you need to have proper precaution in buying lands in our part of the world. That means Africa. It's the same thing here. You have to also assess. But one thing that I have also noticed is that because I am interested in the real estate business, coming along and going through some trainings, I've gotten to know that they have database of all houses online. They have database of every house wherever the location is, and Google have also helped in identifying it. That is a big difference. You can sit at in your home and check up every house that you want in UK. You can check up every house and wherever the location is and their address and everything, which is really, I get to know a lot about the house before even you go in, if you want to buy or even you want to rent or whatever it is. I think that is a big difference, and I see that is really development right there. In our part of the world, you will have to roam. There's no database online indicating houses in a particular area or whatever it is. So I think that's a big difference with the housing, and I think I give them a thumbs up for that. I give UK a thumbs up for that. The institutions are working. In UK. When you send a letter, it goes straight, because their post office is also working. In Ghana, I think we don't even make use of our post office anymore, or we do. Yes, we do though, but I didn't really see how efficient it was. I don't think most houses have post office address in Ghana, but here every house does have. And that's where, and it's like everything has been systemized and structured. That's how I see it. And proper structure. So, and when we talk about security is top notch in UK. I tell you, security is top notch, because also their crime rate is very high, ladies and gentlemen. It's every time you are hearing the police sirens and everything, there's CCTV cameras everywhere, and that's one big difference. In Ghana is I think there are rare places that you will find security cameras that are indicated, but I think development is also catching up, and there are places that it is, but it's not as rampant. I mean, like here you see it more often, and wherever there's a security camera. So that's also another big difference. That's also, so here I think with this part 2 that we did, they have knocked Ghana out, because all what we talked about are in proper done, and that's a big difference, and Ghana can compare itself in any way with these things that we mentioned, and it's interesting to notice, and I'm learning really a lot, and it's mind-blowing. UK has developed, but we can't take away the human agency of things, because in Africa, we have the human agency with everything that we do and all that. So we should take note of it, and there are positives everywhere, wherever that you are. So today we made mention of infrastructure, we talked about family, we talked about housing, we talked about institutions, and we talked about security. I just wanted to keep it short and succinct. Thank you very much for having me, and see you in the other one.